Hey, welcome from South Texas. We are live. It's the 11th day of Christmas already. How did this happen? It went so quickly. Doesn't it feel like we were just celebrating Christmas with our opening presents? We still do stockings. I do a version of stockings. I collect things all year that's different or unique and special for each individual. Love it. But that feels like that was just yesterday. But here we are on the 11th day of Christmas, which is 11 Pipers Piping. So, in the blog article that Jonathan wrote for today, he talked about the importance of music and memory. And I was thinking over the holidays about how we were trying to remember some information, and we all started singing a song because it helped us to remember the facts we were trying to recall. And sure enough, once we got the song, then we could remember it. So, music and memory is important. And when we think about cognitive overload, we get the concern that I think I have feedback. Hold on, that's me. Make sure I'm muting this. Okay, I should be muted. We think about, should we include audio? Should we include sounds? But try it again. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Shouldn't be me.
No, it's actually me.
It's actually you. Actually you.
Let's just mute. We don't need to hear ourselves. Let's just mute. We don't need to hear ourselves.
There. Okay. Does that mean we'll still be recording sound
then? No. Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Because that's just the speaker, not the microphone.
It's a risky
Oh, I can see the microphone. It's going.
All right. It's a risky gambit. All right. So what was I talking about? Oh, cognitive overload, sound, bings, noises. And if you think about dopamine and encouraging people to keep going, actually those sounds and instant feedback kind of mechanics that we can incorporate, especially into any kind of e-learning game or platform or course. We can also, of course, do it live or in virtual. So I want us to just explore that today. And then also we brought with us Jonathan's 99 game mechanics. I was talking about it yesterday, how he has identified 199, but we have a document for you that's called 99 Mechanics and a Badge Ain't One. So that's fun because he has it matched to the motivator. So we thought we'd walk through that and talk about some mechanics today and answer any questions that you might have along the way. So Jonathan, let's let you get started with the blog you wrote about music and rhythm. It was also rhythm and memory.
Yeah, it's an interesting piece when we look at how sound, but I guess it's mostly music and rhythm attached to our memories and how it's worked. Now, as I say in the blog, most of those studies have been with Alzheimer's folks, but there's still that, and I mentioned this in the blog, if you have those songs from when we were teenagers, from when we had all these hormones going through our bodies and so on, and music was extremely important to us back then. And then if you play a song from that era, from your teenage years, you probably have a location memory, some sort of memory that goes along with those. So it's an interesting piece to add in. On what's not in here, but while I was talking and thinking about rhythm, which then also goes to my piece about gestures and so on. But there was also an interesting study of learners that were just tapping their fingers while they were listening to the course, and were also their memory was significantly improved. So there's a type of rhythm that's going on there. Now the study was about our fingers, using our fingers while we're learning, and gestures, and it was done in a rhythmic manner. So the rhythm is also very important as well.
I know a few years back, I was watching a video of this teacher. She was working with students who would have been historically underserved in a population where the expectation is not that they're going to go on for further education. And so, but she was doing this whole clapping rhythmic, every time they answered questions, they included some kind of rhythm in the cadence of the questions and answers. And I thought it was really an interesting whole field of study. Now that was like middle school to junior high school age students. Yeah, junior high, early high school at the oldest. So I thought it was really an interesting case study of bringing rhythm into memory and recall. Yeah.
And learning in general.
Yeah, very cool.
So yeah, something to think about when we're especially with e-learning, is what can we include in the background with music.
So many possibilities. Yeah. You think about the games, video games, popular video games, they're just not as much fun if you have the sound down.
Yeah.
And if my grands are in the car and they're playing on their tablets or something, just like, could we turn that down? And I'll be like, guys, can you turn that down? And you can just, because it's just not as much fun without the sound, except if you're not playing, then the repetition of it can get on you. But if you're playing the game, it adds to the fun of the play to have the music. Plus, it's also giving you feedback all along the way, because it's giving you clues as to where you are, if you've done well, if you've done not so good, if you deaf. Yeah. So that's some really good, as we're just thinking about approaching 2023 with what might we do differently this year. We're not going to have the time or resources to revamp everything, but there are some things that we could definitely do some revisions to increase the engagement, the stickability, and also probably significantly raise our completion rate, if that's a number that you are measuring. And I'll go back to corporate training. We were having a conversation with our neighbor the other night. He's like, if any of my guys are going to be out for training that's longer than 45 minutes, I've got to see the curriculum. I've got to see what it's about. And I'm like, Danny, I'm with you, because managers play a key role. A lot of times people show up at training, they don't even know why they're there or what the purpose is or what the outcome that's intended or how's this going to benefit me. So as we think about revamping our training, that's one thing we can for sure do, is make sure that our adult learners feel the need for this, that they feel like this is something they're going to be able to use and use immediately in the workplace, and it will help them to be better at their job and to be successful. And then if we're measuring completion rates, why are they not completing? Because we said it was important for them to do their job effectively. So it's this whole crazy loop that we just keep finding ourselves in. And it either is important or it isn't important. And then we've got to decide. And if it's not, then let's just give them a job aid so they can reference it when they need it. But going back to design for courses, let's talk about some of the mechanics, Jonathan. Can we start going through them? Are they in alphabetical order, or what? How are they structured in your 99 mechanics?
Alphabetical.
Okay, so we don't want to just stick with the A's, but we can start with the A's. Okay.
Well, before we get there, so my theory of fun. So Dr. Reese did is he identified 16 core desires that we all have. So all of us have it. And again, what makes you different from me and you different from your learners is the emphasis you put on any one of those 16. So my theory of fun is that what makes a game mechanic fun is that it appeals to, what I say, satiates at least one of these core desires. So that's where it was important yesterday when we were talking about a learner persona, so that we know who they are, then we can predict which game mechanics they will find as fun. So not what I find as fun, but what they find as fun. So to go back even further, when Seven Swans of Swimming, we were talking about status and different mechanics that would appeal to a person who has a high desire for status, for instance. And so that then becomes, and then also where someone has a high desire for status would probably get turned off by a learning game and certain mechanics. So that's what we have here. I don't know, how do you want to
just just random.
I could get the cards.
Oh, well, where are the cards?
Probably in the closet by the printer.
Okay. In by the printer.
That's the metal to the left there, where my
No.
the bookshelf right there, top
Bookshelf,
shelf.
no.
Well, I guess we're not going to be able to use those, but that would be more fun.
Well, they gotta be here somewhere.
Yeah. So that's okay.
Okay. Are they behind you? I don't see it.
Yeah, it's usually in that wire thing, the wire piece right there.
Oh, well, maybe they are here. Now that you say that. These are mechanics.
Yes, mechanics. So that way we can play, and then we can look up the answers if I don't have them.
So mechanic or motivator? Which one are you going to pick?
Mechanics, right? Or you want to do motivators?
Well, either way.
What game do you want to play? Let's do mechanics. All right, so this way we can play, adding play to it instead of looking at this. So player versus player. And so this is the mechanic where your folks would be playing against each other. So there might be challenges and so on. So, and typically, and we got it. Good. So the social contact aspect of it, of course, because now I get to play against another winner. So there might be some sort of competition we're doing, something along those lines. But specifically vengeance, because now I can watch you lose. So there's a core desire of vengeance, which is striking back when offended. Or frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So someone has a high desire for vengeance, and then power as well, because we can exert our will on our environment. So someone who has those desires, at least average to high, might like playing against somebody else.
So do you think is that okay in the workplace to have player versus player?
Sure. Challenges.
Yeah. Okay.
Who can
do something
the most,
fastest, most accurate,
mm-hmm.
consistently. Yeah. I think it's really fun when we do it in guilds or teams. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a webinar for Training Magazine on sales execution, and I was reminded of the red flippy cup game that I built into that sales training to handle objections. Yeah. And
sort of player versus player.
Well, it was team versus team, but they were each trying to, be the first team to complete it. And that was their favorite thing. They wanted to keep playing it, which was good because they were learning how to handle objections in sales. So that's great if they want to keep playing. That's good. What else you got?
Ooh, theft, which might not be in here.
I don't think it's in here. I don't think our HR would encourage us to have that.
Yeah. I think we were careful. No, it's here. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry, HR. Here we go.
So the idea, a while ago, back when, up until a little bit ago, I was like, there's certain categories of game mechanics that I wasn't paying attention to, like theft and sabotage and so on. And yet there's so many games where this becomes important. So this is when we steal from other players, okay, or characters to improve our position in the game. Mm-hmm. So again, to go back to vengeance, I'm going to have to do a better job of random drawings here, because we're sticking on the vengeance side. Power. There's so what's interesting is this area called expedience. So there's certain core desires that there are mechanics that appeal to a low desire. So for instance, there's honor, which is all about preserving the traditions of our tribe so that we know how our tribe is different from that tribe over there. So we don't have to relearn what our ancestors already learned. So that is the high desire for honor. So for high honor people, rules are important. Tradition is important. Your role in your group is important. So someone with a low desire for honor has it's what we call expedient. So the rules get in the way. And so for them, things like sabotage and theft are fun. And it's a fun thing for people with a low desire for honor. And it'd be really stressful for people working in regulatory type things and finance and so on. So,
I was thinking about Scott Provence's game, Rule the World.
mm-hmm.
That's one of the key mechanics in his game, is because you're creating OKRs. You have an objective. You're creating an objective. You have key results, but you've got to get 3 key results under an objective in order to win that round of Rule the World. And if someone else has something that you can use, you can take it. Yeah, that's And
So that's
actually, that Rule the World game won the 2019, I think, best use of low-tech gamification in corporate training at GameCon. And it's a card game. It's brilliant. So Scott Provence, I'll type the name into the chat so you can find it. You can find it at his website. And he reskinned the game for us, and we call it Booty Bound because we have a pirate theme. So you should check out Scott Provence's work. Award-winning. Okay.
I got a bunch of them. Oh.
Okay, what do you got?
Let's do branching choices.
Branching choices. Here we go.
Okay. So branching choices, the player decides which of 2 or more options they will take. Their experience will differ based on choices. And we just heard Bernardo talk
Bernardo
about this.
spoke on that on day 4 with us. And how when we think about branching choices, if I can draw this out, we typically think that it's going to go like this. And Bernardo taught us to design branching choices so it goes like this. So it gets more narrow at the end rather than broad, because as it gets broader, it just becomes unmanageable, right, and overwhelming, and we think we can't do it. But if we realize that we're all getting to the same place eventually, then they still have choices. They just choose how and when they want to make those choices. That's good.
Yeah. So saying, well, it appeals to curiosity because we say, hey, what's over there? What's over there? What's over there? So that's important. Low order people like it. Branching choices are actually stressful for people who have a high desire for order because they want step 1, step 2, step 3. By this idea that I'm going in different directions here is not very helpful to them. So I've identified the low desire for order, which is what we call flexible. It would be, which my office is, is very flexible, and expedience, and then also low tranquility, which is what we label as adventure, because now we don't know what's the result of this choice going to be. So it gets fun and exciting for people who have a desire for adventure as well. So it's an interesting one. What Bernardo is bringing up, though, is specifically having different experiences so the learners can have different experiences. So that's something to look at with branching choices.
Good.
Right above that, just because it's here, don't want to hang out, but boss battles are interesting. and that's when the player has a chance to consolidate everything they've mastered to engage in a single epic challenge. So usually it's the end of a level, end of the game is usually when we have a boss battle where you go all in on red. And so it's an interesting one that we could use inside of a learning game because it's non-consequential. They've done the learning. Now they're about to finish up the program, and then now we're going to let it all ride on red. So again, a lot of adventure there. It's kind of a fun mechanic that I haven't really seen used in a learning game, but it's common in video games that we'll have a boss battle where we're all in taking the risk. And again, because it's a learning game, what's to lose? And it could be stressful for people who are high savings because whatever they've collected, they want to keep. And the idea of losing it creates a lot of stress for them. So cards. Not very interesting.
Cards are interesting. I love cards.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, we don't have it on here.
I don't think it is. Could be.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Cards are more of a element.
Mm.
It's but how
Could be
they're
used in so
used.
many different
In other
ways.
words,
Yeah.
these are elements, but I'm using it to add in chance.
Usually it's chance.
Yeah, some
right?
sort of chance,
Yeah.
which is right there. Chance.
Yeah.
It just happened to be chance that I pulled up chance.
And chance is
So,
good for, flexible
Yeah.
and adventure.
yeah, so adventure, people have who are venturesome. Again, it could be low savings as well, because if you think of roulette, we have a lot. We could lose everything, since I was just using let it ride on red.
Mm-hmm.
Trophy shelves.
Trophy shelves are so much fun.
This is something that we can easily add into e-learning, just to have any type of thing. So a trophy shelf allows players to display their achievements. So as they're collecting different things, if they get, let's say, badges or some sort of artifacts inside of the game as they're playing along, then they're able to put them in one place. And the value of a trophy shelf is that other people can see what they've accomplished. Otherwise, we think of it as like a backpack or something. It would be something
Right.
that only I know.
I see it's in the air.
And so if I need to, so I'm traveling, it's like Avatar's traveling through the territory, and I need a shovel, and I happen to have a shovel in my backpack. So that's a trophy shelf, though, is where all the other players can see my shovel on my shelf behind me.
And at GameCon 48V, one of the master craftsmen I want to present their project is Naomi Paraso and Jim Egan, who did a beautiful job with trophy shelves in the second project that designed, the Reprobates, Castaways.
Yeah.
Beautiful program for Brown University. And so at 48V, we're going to have our master craftsmen, a handful of them, 6, I think, sharing their portfolios of what they created since they've taken the certifications through Sententia, and what they've created in real life for their audience. So Jim Egan and Naomi Paraso, I think I've created now 4 semester-long gamified courses at Brown University that are the most beautiful, engaging courses you'll ever encounter. And it's on topics that, like, I don't want to take that,
literary criticism.
But I want to take it because it's so nicely done and just beautiful, just the aesthetics of it all, and the journey, the brilliance of the journey of it. So at 48V, which is February 26 through 28, you can experience part of that in the player journey, which is a can't miss, because that's what helps us to get ideas about what we can do differently, is really seeing what other people have taken and ran with and have been able to. And I talk about award winning, and it's not so much about winning the award, but it's that your project's being evaluated by your peers, a jury of your peers, and they have seen this as something that's exceptional, as based on a rubric of design. And so that's what we're always aiming for with our projects, is that is getting into that excellent category on the rubric. So
yeah, what's nice about trophy shelves too is they have a broad appeal. Not only identified it with 3, but people who are high status, have a high status motivation, are often not high acceptance motivated. It doesn't mean they can't be, but it's not typical. So what you would see there, though, is these 2 types of people who would choose 2 different roles. Could then it'd be fun for both of them, for these 2 different people. So that's where trophy shelves can come in to play, because for the acceptance people, it's like, it's the pat on the back, you're doing a good job, here's an award, you're able to show, hey everybody, I'm not a failure, look at all my trophies behind me. And then versus high status people is like, look how great I am, I got some sort of something for my avatar or something, some sort of weapon or something I can display.
Yeah. That others are not getting.
Good.
Yeah.
One more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Avatar. I just talked about avatar exploration. So some more fun. Mystery box.
Mystery box. These are cool.
And again, something that's relatively easy to put into our learning programs. So a random reward or experience that can be opened and enjoyed that is not obviously related to an achievement, to achievement. So in other words, I had to work to get to this level, but the reward is not the mystery box. At this level, there happens to be a mystery box. And so I get to bring this, and it feels random because it's not necessarily related to the learning. So it's something that can can create interest, break up the rhythm instead of just text, or story, words. Now we can have, and now for something completely different, a mystery box. Let's open it and see what's inside. And then again, to have it feel random. Now, again, in e-learning, you've already programmed the mystery box and what the potentials are inside of there. But from the experience of the learner, it's a lot of fun. So some of the core desires, the motivators I put with this one is acceptance, because there's not a risk of failure. We're not going to look stupid. In other words, if it's something that I need to achieve and I don't achieve it, that puts acceptance people under stress. But here's a nice reward that you didn't have to do anything other than get to this level. Flexibility, low order, because again, ordered people like things to be very, very structured. And then if a mystery box comes along, they're like, well, is this going to be on the test? And where's this coming from? But someone on the low side says, oh, this is fun, because it breaks up the monotony of the learning. Savings is fun for them, because now they might have something that they can collect, perhaps. So it's a surprise, like, oh wow, I get to put this on my trophy shelf. and then adventure, so low tranquility, adding a sense of adventure to the exploration to their time here.
In fact, in my little bubble pop game that I play every day, they drop mystery boxes along the path. So if you got like 4 more till you got a mystery box, which is going to give you some kind of booster. It's going to be some kind of booster. It could be great. It could just be a extra color ball or something like that. But they show you that they're dropping them and where they're dropping them, and you see how far you have to get to find it in a certain amount of time too. So if you're going to get all 3 or 4 mystery boxes, they want you to keep playing. Yeah. So it's fun. It's very good. All right. So again, download this, Game Mechanics and Motivators. We in-house call it 99 Mechanics and a Badge Ain't One, because we don't have anything against badges. In fact, used well, badges are a great tool. And of course, we use digital badging for our people who come to GameCon, who win awards, who earn facilitation status, who earn the different certifications, because the digital badges have that metadata that sits behind them. So if you want to build your credibility, you can like put those out on LinkedIn, and then people can access the metadata behind that digital badge and see what exactly you had to do to earn that. I know at Amazon, they use those. Yeah, they have a funny name, but it's like a badge. And when you're applying to transfer in, like you want a new job in-house or something, like the different supervisors, managers will look at all these little digital badges that you've earned and see exactly what you had to do to earn them. And they can be anything from taking a course to getting a patent on something. So it's pretty broad scope of what you can do to earn these, but within different organizations, they've used them well to encourage people to accumulate them so that other people can see what exactly they've done to continue their professional development or to add to services or products being offered to customers. So that's pretty cool. So we don't, again, have anything against badges, but badges are certainly not the end. They're a good place to start in your design. It's a great way to get people in quickly, to give them a badge. But we've got to go further than that if we're really going to be effective in our design. Anything else for today, Jonathan?
That's good.
All right. Tomorrow's our last day. Friday, Thursday. Tomorrow's only Thursday. And it's the 12th day of Christmas. So it will be 12 drummers drumming. And so join us back here again tomorrow to close it out. Now, we do have some 12 Days of Christmas specials, and those will run through Saturday the 7th. That's when those will expire. So if you want to grab any of those savings on the courses or certifications or events, be sure to use that discount code before Saturday, December 7th for the 12 Days of Christmas savings, and get started on doing better with your designs with gamification. And we want to help you to solve whatever challenges you're having right now that are causing your learners to not engage or not create the behavior change that you're seeking. We want to be your source to help you to solve that. So thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate any of your comments, insights, feedback. We're always open to ideas, and we'll see you here again tomorrow. Thanks, Jonathan. Nice job today. Thank you.
All right. See you all tomorrow.
My computer died.